My frigga, it's Friday, Batman. Why do you keep saying Batman?
In the first quarter of this year, I created a 3-part series on the interplay between media technology and identity, which was very heavily influenced by Germany's most influential online philosopher, Professor Hans-Georg Möller from the University of Macau in China. Be water, my friend. I started with an examination of how the Gutenberg Revolution empowered Nietzsche to create his Superman, the ultimate embodiment of authenticity, a form of identity which succeeded the traditional notion of the self known as sincerity, which was shaped by one's role in society and the tools which were attached to that role. In video number 3, I raised the question if Elon Musk can be considered an embodiment of Nietzsche's Superman, or if he is under the spell of the media he has consumed and the media technology he uses to express himself.
Twitter is bewitchment of the mind by means of gamified language. Wittgenstein would go insane.
True that, and Instagram engineers inflated lips.
Right, I see a lot of asymmetric faces these days, and I blame the like button for the disfiguration of these German faces and bodies.
Right. Let's blame TikTok for gender dysphoria. China is trying to sterilize Western civilization in order to provoke its fall by means of media technology.
Interesting observation, Walter. Perhaps there is so much Russian porn online.
But as long as there were only like 1 or 2 of them at a time, I could sort of manage. And I had the same issues with, often with church people, because having an unmedicated schizophrenic in the back of the church is not a strategy for seeker-sensitive ministry.
Clip that.
Yeah, there you go, Chris. You can clip that. Having an unmedicated schizophrenic in the back of the church is not a strategy for seeker-sensitive ministry.
Clip that.
Someone will walk in, I remember. So then we had when someone would knock on my door and want to talk for 2 hours. My schedule could handle it. So I talked for 2 hours. So actually I've listened for 2 hours. And that was, in many ways, all the internet randos are just, basically get what all the homeless randos used to get.
We're the new homeless.
Yeah? Oh, wow. It's true.
I taught you how to clip, right?
So,
you
yeah.
clip mail for me. You can make a clip and then tweet it and then add Pastor Paul say clip mail.
Hey, Pastor Paul.
Are you saying we should LARP as adults?
With civic, human, responsible duties? Why to do it again? That's really what we're trying to do. And give and act like fully mature men for the benefit of everyone. For the benefit of everyone, you said. Is that part? LARP like grown men for the benefit of everyone?
Is that what you're recommending people do on the other side of the LARP gate, Pastor Paul?
My question to you. Sir, from this side of the LARP gate, where
Basically get what all the homeless randos used to get.
We're the new homeless.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, so that's, and it's lamentable because
schedule for Carol.
Welcome. This is the Socioception AstroTurfed Pantheon stream.
I'm not a cat.
And if you'll excuse me, I have to stop by the Discord and kick all the people that are chatting there instead of being in the Hive Mind chat from giving me the views.
Remember it. We want
I know you guys haven't got your savings throws yet, but the Discord is specifically for people who don't hate me. And if I'm doing a live stream and you're online and not there, doesn't that mean you hate me?
Although this world will devastate you, and rejoice although this world will penetrate you, and rejoice although you will not survive. Rejoice you'll never make it out alive.
Excellent rehearsal, gentlemen.
And rejoice your hair, it smells like burning hair. Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off. Oh, rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burn your whole beard off. Rejoice, despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice, despite the fact this world will kill you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you to shreds. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
I love that one. That's gorgeous.
Me too, Carlotto. Me too. Okay, what's different? Oh, yeah, I had to do a thing this morning to be a Santa's elf again at Christmas for money. Benignly indifferent. Okay, so this is the AstroTurf's Pantheon stream, Socioception, which is going to be a commentary on, oh, look, this is produced by Upcycle Club and the German Dragon. You see, the highest tier of YouTube channel membership gets you an executive producer credit, and as of now, it looks like there's 3 spots before I have to scale on the image. And special thanks to everyone in the Shadow Cabal at all levels of participation for making it all happen. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
I listen to him. I think he is telling us the truth. That is indeed what he wants. Those of you who are sort of sniffing for duplicity or a grift or dishonesty, I don't smell any of that here. I think he's I think he's telling us, I see this guy, I see both of these guys, but I see this guy as being very, very genuine and honest. He is telling us exactly what he thinks.
And now, I think at all levels of channel membership, you can do VNA : and make the bubble in the hive mind. And then there's the second tier, which I don't remember the perks of, but there's the third and fourth tiers of channel membership. You see, the third tier comes with the secret perk of being able to call for savings throws during a live stream. Another, like, just interrupt you, like, I have my superpower. I'd like my another role, please. That's fancy one. But the superpower of the fourth one is once a month I make a video for you, and that's that'll satisfy the requirements for this executive producing, because today's adjunct professing is on the German Dragon's newest video. How Gen Z's digital dilemma reflects a spiritual crisis. So we'll be doing some adjunct professing on that. We'll also have a special appearance by this guy. Here, this bit. We're doing some work on the Discord. We'll talk about that, and I'll tie it in with some other fascinating stuff on today's adventure: Socioception, AstroTurf's Pantheon.
Slime! What? It's a river of slime!
LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. Well, hey there, thank you, Ups. Yes, we have a terrible thing going on in the Hive Mind chat. First, didn't realize that VNA meant VNA and typed in VMA. And didn't make the bubble, but you can make this bubble if you're a channel member and type : VNA : I think if you type howdy, you can make this one. This one should be behold, perhaps, : behold, no, : behold, : and in exciting news, we have the appearance of a, I think, as yet unnamed fella later in the stream there.
Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best.
And now, to let them do some talking while I go get a cookie, we dive into our adjunct professing on how Gen Z's digital dilemma reflects a spiritual crisis.
Between people that has been exacerbated by probably spending less time together in physical.
Wait a minute. Somebody's gonna have to use a superpower if you don't give people their savings throws against the mind control that you're all subjected to, don't you know? Survival, social wisdom, or heart, those will be your choices. You pick one of those. I roll the representative die. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. We'll let you know. That was too fast. Shame on me. Survivalists only get a 3. Socialist with a nat 1 from me. Wisdom, folks, a 5 for thee, 6 for those of merry heart, and a 10 is the indigo part. Now I get a cookie.
Reality, wherever. I mean, partly because of COVID as well, not just because of the internet, but also because of COVID. We've sort of taken a long break from spending time together and seeing each other and how we all different, but somehow living together peacefully. And we've seen this tremendous polarization, in part as a consequence, I think, of the engagement maximizing attention economy online. And because we have diverted so much of our attention from the local, you could say, physical embodied social network to the virtual global social network, where you see tensions that you might not see in your community. Like, I always compare what's going on in the news and what I hear from on certain YouTube channels and podcasts in Germany about how divisive everything is and how divided we are. And then I walk around and where I live and I drive around and I feel like I live in the Shire, in Lord of the Rings, like this completely peaceful reality. But when I enter the Matrix, YouTube and the virtual world, it's like elves against orcs, basically. And you can apply that to any language game.
That's a deep thing to look into, because I think you're right. You're fundamentally right on that. The way I see it is, for instance, I am 25. I'm about to be 26, but I believe there's a fundamental difference between people born before the age of the internet, where they can remember, not that they were a baby, but that they can remember it before there was the internet, before there was this system, versus people who, like my age, people who were raised with it and can't remember anything before it. I think there's fundamentally different brain chemistry in those two groups.
And I can show you how...
Whatever that seems to be something that is an overall good.
You're at a crossing. Can you feel this? Can you touch the fear and dizziness of our moment? Can you sense the ground shifting beneath you?
An overall good.
The sky is spinning as a red tail swipes the stars from the heavens. Good. All is primitive, while the Inquisitor looms behind you.
Good.
Two sides have risen, and all reality is caught between Charybdis and Scylla.
I'm not sure, let's say, what the ultimate significance of each of us doing this is, but I think whatever that seems to be something that is an overall good.
Now, that bit they were just going over, I'm adjunct professing about, is that we could really use a timeline about how the digital separation separated our face-to-face and then out, because it started with the radio, and then gathering face-to-face became a thing we did in front of the altar to set instead of at church. And then the altar to set became handheld like a rosary, and the connection to set direct. And then we didn't, like, now when people gather, they do it looking at their phone, and they all sit in the room looking at their phones, all in the room together. Oh, look, can we have, yes, absolutely. These you're going to need some stronger savings throws, and Upcycle is here for you, don't you know? We'll get those ready to roll after you study astroturfing.
If you pay somebody to go through internet, making nice comments about your company and your product, that is astroturfing. Yeah, it's comments about a product, a service, a policy, which appear to come from ordinary members of the public, but in fact they don't. Yeah, they come from actors or people who are working for the company. Yeah, it's like orchestrated marketing or public relations, making people think that, well, everybody supports this. Yeah, and that's the idea. Idea is to present things as unsolicited comments, to make something look like community mobilization.
No, faster. Hey, where are we going? What? No, wait, what? Hey, yes. The longer you stay a membership, you get fancy free big green things. And Ups is setting the protocol by using his to be the time you get to call for the extra savings throw. That's perfect. And here come those savings throws you get, don't you know? Since you're chatting in the hive mind, you get a +2 to the roll. That means if it's over 10, you've made it, and half damage for you. Once again, you choose based on what you're going to use to resist the mind control. It's your will to survive, your social network, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart. Survival, social wisdom, or heart. What do you choose? Choose. Yeah, just in your head is fine. Survivalist making it well with the Baker's Coven. Socialist up to an 11. Bonuses apply once again. Once again, that's the number of transformation. Wisdom, folks, good for you. 4. Replay comments are worth +5 to the savings throw. Heart, folks, 15. You've made it. Good for you. Half damage. Some of this stuff is serious. Indigo kids down to a deuce. Thanks to Upcycle Club using his monthly superpower for the rolls. To those of you didn't load enough.
About to go into a dark winter.
Branded, marked with a coward shame. What do you do when you're branded? Well, you fight for your name.
Milan Marcuccino, good to see you. Hello, and Indigo kids, because New Age mythology is not so popular. No, Indigo kids is because some people get to choose the indigo dye, but it's a silent choice, so we don't talk about it. And those I just group them as kids in my head as kids. Speaking of which, we have a new kid in the house, or perhaps he's a grown adult. I don't know how to age view lobster monkeys, but look at this here fella. He's made an appearance in the VNA logo section over on the Discord, and he's clearly on Denim Wars Denny's side of the Denim Wars. I don't know if we're going to be able to do custom overalls, but we do now have a lobster monkey to name. On this 18th day of the 2024 October. So submit your names in the replay comments for a +5 on next stream save, and why you think it's a good name for our new lobster monkey here in the overalls. I have a name in my head, and I want to see if it magically gets upvoted by all of you, so I can't say anything about it. But we'll be naming this lobster monkey in the comments of this very stream. Which stream, Grim? Which stream was it? Clip this, I guess. It was the AstroTurfed Pantheon stream where he made his first appearance. We're going to AstroTurf him into the Lobster Monkey Pantheon, much like we'll eventually get to referencing in our coverage of the adjunct professing of how Gen Z's digital dilemma reflects a spiritual crisis. Right after more branding.
It's a whisper in your ear, now listen here. Remember, embody, It's all so clear. No hidden strings, no puppeteer. We're by your side, have no fear. I cherish truth. I cherish truth. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
Did it? Whoa! You gotta turn that one off. I'm really enjoying all of the naming attempts happening in the hive mind, but I can't highlight any of them as it would be showing preferences toward a name, and I can't do that as it's going to be fairly decided in the comment section of the replay comments, because we need that. We need that. I would not. I can highlight this to say I don't think so. I don't think so. Now get to the next timestamp of this, 1455. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So that
I was on
in,
PC though before that.
Yeah, sure. Me too. But for me, I mean, the internet was extremely slow when I started gaming. Very, very slow. So it was a pain in the butt, and many people had trouble joining the gaming space because for lack of a decent internet connection. So there was much more play outside, and it was much more unsupervised play. I get a lot of comments, and I've had a conversation with a guy who's also Gen Z. He's younger than you, and he's been saying that this apocalyptic worldview, like this is the darkest time in human history. It's never been that bad. The world is governed by, the shadow archetype or satanic forces, the dark side of the force. And he's been saying that that's a feeling which Gen Z kids who are now in their 20s
zeitgeist
seem to share. You share that.
It's in the
right?
zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Yes. You can feel it. It's a deep feeling. Here's I'll give you my most
I would like to pause and comment, like, if you've been subjected yourself to the Fallout video game series, and then therefore the Fallout Amazon movie show, nominated for 17 Prime something things on Amazon Prime. The Fallout thing, the moral of that story is that the end of the world is a product. The end of the world is a product. Why would they sell you the end of the world? What is predictive programming? What is the placebo effect? What is it to mean if you had the faith of a mustard seed that mountain would move, and you put your faith in the end of the world because it's been sold to you as a product?
The easiest way to digest this without getting too crazy on any of it. Simply put, what I believe is it goes probably back to, and again, not all the way, but we've raised this youngest generation, and there has been desensitization to violence, to certain things that were just not. That's just, for instance, I'll show a video or something to my grandparents, and I can still see that little small, tiny something behind their eyes where it still bothers them a little bit, whereas it doesn't for people my age. Now, I'm not saying video games are bad. I'm not saying movies are bad. I am saying that parents need to probably watch what their kids are doing more, because it's a fundamental idea of science. If I take a very small electric shock, just a tiny one, and it shock the tip of your finger, and if I do it over and over again, you'll eventually become desensitized to that same level of shock. It won't feel the same if I do it 10 times. So then you have
and then they get into how bad porn is, and the thing of it is, porn is a weapon. It's a weapon. It makes your enemies squirt, boys. But and then next, more what? Yes. Let's get to this.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room.
What room?
I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from. He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
There's gonna come a time when I have to have a longer fireworks thing to account for all the magic missiles I highlight at the part when I highlight your magic missiles. When the...
Slavery, attention farming, engagement farming, but also as a consequence of that, it's not intended, YouTube is not built to promote these very alternative, unhinged theories, but you said it before about the electric shock. One thing you haven't mentioned about Gen Z and having early access to porn, to internet, is also having early access to unlimited porn. And what I've heard is that you always need the next kick. So you start with, you could imagine you go with something very romantic, and you end up with like basically you need to see someone with a chainsaw in order to get it up. I mean,
it's all addiction.
Yeah. And so, well, this is also a form.
This is a PvP server. The beast takes what it wants and gets what it gets. Man protects the sacred. You're part of it now.
I would say videos are a sort of audiovisual drug.
They are.
It's medicine, it's educational, right? It's entertainment. It makes you laugh. There's this cathartic element to poetry that's always been talked about. Like it's fundamental to us. We need it. We need to leave our own ego and enter the world of the protagonist and suffer with him and so on and so forth. So it's like very deep.
No, not exactly. It's socioception. I'm delivering on the title because I deliver on the title and the thumbnail. So I'm showing you the thumbnail. This episode is executive produced by Upcycle Club and the German Dragon. It's socioception. Is the storyverse, the story interface, the story matrix, the word made flesh into spelling, the story form, you're part of it now. The authority, the authority, the story is, guys. Stories work like a sixth sense, where I take what you say and update the background understanding of the reality I'm currently in and experiencing. What's it like in this world? I have my senses, and they tell me this stuff. And then I tell you that, and you tell me you're that, and then we both update our background. That's the story.
So say we all, yuck, 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 ho, ho, ho.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Just lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Sects of the Luciferian ideology, they believe that the character Lucifer, who is the serpent, freed man from the slavery that was the Garden of Eden. That's what they believe. So you come forward to modern times and everything you just said, the fact that as a society now, and I would say that this is very new within the past 50 or so years, now we worship celebrities. People have to go to this concert and buy all the merchandise from their favorite celebrities. And then you think, oh, I want to be like.
Now we worship celebrities. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the AstroTurfed Pantheon, where I remind you that the reason that celebrities get AstroTurfed is to draw attention away from the people that make powered decisions. You see, once upon a time, everybody was all up Louis's ass of what was going on in the court of Versailles. Everybody wanted to know because the court was the celebrities. But then came along the shaking of the spear, which pointed us toward instead the actors and the actresses embodying the archetypes in front of the masses, programming their story and background. And they are then our attention. We have paparazzi for what those people are doing, but not for what our state elected representatives are doing, because they're the AstroTurfed Pantheon, right?
That person. That's what I think success looks like. What we've done is we've really kind of fallen into, not willingly, but we've fallen into a pattern of thinking that, in my research, in my opinion, closely mirrors what would be known as the Luciferian doctrine. I'm not saying everyone's under that. I'm just saying that's the direction society has been pulling. It's the idea that man can become like God. And again, as you said, very much we've done that. We've put the wrong people up on a pedestal. We've put money up on a pedestal. And the Bible itself says the love of money is the root of all evil, the love of it.
We're deifying people. We're deifying people, even if just accidental.
No. What we're doing, I think, this is slight rectification. Maybe it's a translation issue. I think what we're doing is we're not deifying, but
reifying.
It looks like reifying, but it's
reify.
It's to consider or represent something abstract as a material or a concrete thing to give definite content and form to a concept or idea.
Reify.
Maybe that instead.
Or unconsciously, or through hero projection online. And as you know, I'm working on this thing called the Avatar Revolution, where I basically propose that the engagement-based hierarchy of people's profiles is not good, in part because we will deify our mentors, our favorite rappers, our favorite sports or athletes, our favorite politicians. I mean, Trump is seen as a essentially as Jesus
Absolutely.
Christ.
Yes,
Elon Musk
absolutely.
is seen as well, maybe a Promethean Iron Man or whatever.
Mhm.
And I think it's not good for us passive attention slaves, who the only power that we have is essentially a like button, a retweet button, and a comment to upvote content. It's not good for us because we essentially transfer responsibility at scale onto a few individuals. And I also don't think it's good for those individuals who receive that kind of hero projection. And let's not forget, at the same time, shadow projection. I mean, you see that I had this conversation. Unfortunately, it's not on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's not. But it was Jordan Peterson came up because I said, look, even a psychologist has a very hard time handling.
True, but it's not the part I'm looking for. Yeah. In the vein of reifying and deifying celebrities, he references something he saw on the internet it reminded me of something I saw on the internet from that channel Stranger Than Fiction, which I don't understand how it's not, it's on this internet. But here's a little piece of that I enjoyed quite a bit. And it,
you explain what Neuralink is and what the goal of it is?
We put a chip in your brain to control your mind. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Concerns not alleviated.
Yeah, there you go. Jump right in. Step right up. Who wants one? No, so Neuralink, you'll be able to see.
And so while I'm going to tie it back to something else I found on that channel, in order to get you there, I have to explain a few things such as reaping and looming, and what are you the general of, and what's a lobster monkey, and what's going on that Discord. So taking a clip of something you see on the internet that is worthwhile to share to your friends, like you're a hunter-gatherer and we're at campfire, you bring it to us. It's a reaping of a clip, like from the chaff. You've got the wheat from the chaff because you're a reaper, right? And you bring the clip, and sometimes we loom those together, and like sometimes we insert them into like gold. But one of the things, when we loom them together, we can make a distillate. We can take an hour and 30-minute conversation and give you like the 7-minute Cliff Note version. And I'm working on that over in the Discord, in the where is it? Down in the Reaper's room. You need special keys to get there, but they're pretty easy to get. Just hang out for a minute, scroll, share this tab, watch. Look, this is a mess. If you're an actual Janny. The Pharaoh says is how I started it, because that's the starting clip that made me decide to do the work. Let's see what that one was. What's going on? Share this tab instead. Click over here. Show it. Press.
And the Pharaoh in this story replies to him, "No, you have not given us a wonderful gift. You have destroyed the art of memory. We will forget everything. Words will roam free around the world, not accompanied by any wise advice to set them into context." And actually, that's a very interesting point. And we do know that cultures that still do have oral traditions are able to preserve information for very long periods of time. One thing I think is clear in any time, in any period of history, is human beings love stories. We love great stories. And one way to preserve information is to encode it, embed it in a great story. And so carefully done that actually it doesn't matter whether the storyteller knows that they're passing on that information or not. The story itself is the vehicle, and as long as it's repeated faithfully, the information contained within it will be passed on. And I do think this is part of the
And if you want to rip off this coverage, Pastor Paul, this is where you insert Pajot and Martin Shaw talking about the stories when they're pitching Martin Shaw's new course over on the AstroTurfed Pantheon of the Symbolic World. Hey, it's a bubble, guys. We like the bubble. Let's have some branding, and then we'll get back to tie in how my work on the Reaping Room, buy a hat, it ties into what was at the end of that Stranger Than Fiction video.
In all our searching, the only thing we found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile?
That's very exciting. Hello. I see the assassins have failed.
Did you get that on video? No. Mom, I'm not going to. No, that's, I'll show you later. Look, the gator is obviously. Send me that. 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 Hey, yo. I just feel bad for this game. My God. Yeah, it's okay.
Milan Marcuccino says in the Hive Mind, I spent so much money traveling the world and investigating Graham Hancock and his ancient origin mysteries. And I say to you, there's a link at the top of the Hive Mind chat. It's pinned there for your convenience. And thank you.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
Mostly concerned with dark magic. You know, I've been speaking with Grim Grizz and on his channel and adjacent channels in this little corner, as it's called, which is like a sub-sphere of the Peterson world, Peterson matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what kind of matrix you're plugged into, right? I mean, that's something that's very important to note. And yeah, they call it the defense against dark arts. And dark arts, that's like a Harry Potter reference, right? It's dark magic, which is attention slavery, attention farming, engagement farming, but also as a consequence of that, it's not intended, you know, YouTube is not built to promote these very alternative, unhinged theories, but, you know, you said it before about the electric shock. You know, one thing you haven't mentioned about Gen Z.
Oh, that's why it seemed like the wrong part. I started a minute late and didn't hear my own name even when we played that earlier. But anyway, as one of the things we're doing, we do those with those live sessions on the Discord on the Saturdays now. That's where that's happening. The Rumor Requirement, I thought it should be called. But oh yeah, we were doing this and share this tab instead. And so, no, wait, you go, now just a recovery branding, right?
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
No. Yes, but like way at the back at 131. There you go. That's what you're looking to do. 131.44 is close enough. So I was watching the rest of that Stranger Than Fiction video. I can't believe it's still on YouTube, and they got to this part.
רוצה להגיד לך עוד דבר, למה היטלר לא היה יהודי, הוא היה גוי? היטלר היה גוי, נכון? למה הוא לא היה יהודי?
לא יודע, נו.
שיהודי לא יעשה את זה.
אוקיי, זה מה שכתבו לי, שנייה, זה כתוב.
עוד שאלה אחת.
אוקיי, בבא מציע.
רגע, אני רוצה להגיד לך משהו. אני רואה שזה שאלות קנטריות, זאת אומרת, דברים שכאילו זה מעצבן.
חריפים, כן, ברור. מה, אני אבוא עם פרווה? מה, בשביל מה? אני יודע פרווה.
טוב, בוא נשמע.
שהיהודים, גויים הם עקומים.
Now, this akumim part, I don't know if you can read what the men are saying, but
שהיהודים...
The non-Jews are akumim.
סליחה, גויים הם עקומים.
And then he corrects him with akum.
עקום? עקום, זה לא עקום שהם עקומים ככה, עקומים עם א'.
אז מה זה?
עובדי כוכבים ומזלות.
Stars and Zodiac. Workers of the stars and Zodiac, which brings us back to...
So at different times of the year, the sun will rise against the background of a particular zodiacal constellation. Today we live in the age of Pisces, and it's definitely not an accident that the early Christians used the fish as their symbol. This is another area where I differ from archaeology. I think the constellations of the zodiac were recognized as such much earlier than we suppose. Anyway, to get to the point, the key marker of the year, certainly in the northern hemisphere, was the spring equinox. The question was, what constellation is rising behind the sun? What constellation is housing the sun at dawn on the spring equinox? Right now it's Pisces. In another 150 years or so, it'll be Aquarius. We do live in the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
A dark winter. And
Okay, so there, the socioception title delivery is that the sixth sense of the story, being able to update our background of what reality is like. The AstroTurf Pantheon is the lobster monkey we're naming in the replay comments, and also what Shakespeare did with the invention of actors to hide the attention that should belong on the people doing things with their power. And that we can, like a stadium wave, we can do our own astroturfing. I don't know if I mentioned that. This was executive produced by Upcycle Club and the German Dragon. I'm going away now. Thank you all for your time, attention, and donations. And Vernal Equinox. Wait. Saved by Milan. I had other tabs open, actually, and one of them was this one. Revelation 12, which says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars." Now, this is the series of verses that the people who take it back in those time machines, the astrological time clocks where you can wind them backwards, they take this series of verses and say to me that, when you do that, it turns out to point to 9/11 of 0000, or whenever they say the year Jesus was born, and that means that it was on his birthday. And so that turns the Revelation 12 here, into part of the story. So this is when one is when Christ is being born, and there's another. Then there appeared another wonder in heaven, And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew in the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So theoretically, if that's the Jesus part, when Jesus is born, right, then this is like the woman fleeing into the wilderness, the 1,203 days, however days work. And then they got the Michael part and this, but it comes down to he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, and the woman were given the wings of the eagle. And then, but the thing is, the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. And that's why the serpent world we live in is the enmity for the womb. And I'm pretty sure that this whole Elon Musk and to Trump is this beast part. But I haven't worked out the presentation, and I'm tired now. Thank you, everybody.